Hello again then guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing something that I've already done 3 times. So what is that? Well, I've got the car out here, out the front, got it jacked up, and I am going to be fitting a new set of exhaust manifold gaskets again, but this time only to the up pipe section. So got my new gaskets. Luckily these are very cheap. They are aftermarket, but they are probably better than the genuine Subaru ones. I can't really use a multi-layer steel because I don't have a good enough I don't have flat enough of a surface. Although I probably could use a multi-layer steel against the cylinder head now, which I might actually look into. But before I go any further, I must let you know about a little development, and that is that I have finally booked this car in for a remap with Duncan Graham of Race Dynamics. And yeah, it's booked in for sort of mid-September. So I shall be taking you up to Wolverhampton, where Duncan is going to be tuning my car. So hopefully we're going for about 300 horsepower, but we will get Duncan's opinion on that, see what he thinks. And yeah, so I'm really excited about that. It's got to a point now where it's all running, and basically I want it running right as it should be. It shouldn't be too far off, but it's going to be running a little bit rich. And then with this exhaust blow, obviously that is sort of going to throw off the lambda sensor and probably cause it to run rich or lean, or I don't know. It's not going to do it too many favors. So yeah, I'm going to set about doing that. Luckily this is actually quite a quick job. I've only got to undo 3 bolts, slide out a gasket, and what I'm going to be doing this time, like a lot of you have said, is I'm just going to literally stick both of these gaskets in, and this won't be a permanent fix. Obviously before I get it mapped, I'm going to have to work something out. I have seen some stainless steel manifolds and up pipes for sale. They are not cheap, but it might be the way to go. 1, it's a bit of an upgrade, and 2, it's going to give me all brand new fresh mating surfaces, so it should all seal as it should. So that is probably the route I'm going to go down, although they're about £700, so I'm going to have to sort of try and justify to myself spending that, although it's quite easily justified. I've already spent a load of money, so really I should finish the job and get the manifold. But yeah, so I'm going to set about changing these gaskets, and yeah. So quickly though, just before I actually do the job, if I get down on the floor, you can see there, that join where those bolts are, you can see that old gasket sticking out, or I say old, that's probably, oh, I don't know, maybe 3-4 weeks old. Yeah, it's all pretty fresh. I'm just struggling a bit really to get it to seal. So yeah, that's the one that's blowing, and you can really see actually it's properly made a mess of that gasket. Yes, you can see some oil that's dripping off of that sensor. I need to get some new O-rings in there, which is on my list of jobs. So yeah, there we go. That's what I've got to do basically. So I'm gonna crack on. It's just started to rain as well, which is very nice. So yeah, see you in a minute. Well then guys, I've gone a little bit further than I was gonna, and I've ended up taking off the entire manifold again. The reason I've taken it completely off is I thought, you know what, I want to have a look at the faces and see how they've held up since I filed them down to a reasonably flat state. So yeah, I'll show you what they look like. So here we go. They're looking pretty good. You see, this one's gone fairly blue. And actually, funnily enough, where it's gone blue is where it was all mostly bent, really. It looks to me like it's had a good seal all the way round on both of those. Both of those look good. This one's definitely not been as hot as the other one. This, I'm pretty happy with that. I was a bit more concerned about this one because it was a lot harder to file. It's stainless steel, but you can see those sort of the marks from where the firing goes. And if you don't know what I'm on about, or why I think they're a good seal, basically on these gaskets you've got the firing, which obviously I know a lot of you are aware of this, but that firing, when you tighten it up, tighten up the flange, it squashes that firing and creates a tight seal all around here. So all the gold areas on this gasket are really for sort of catching any leaky bits and stopping them going further, but they shouldn't really leak too much. But yeah, so that's what the firing does. I am very happy with how it's sealed on there, to be honest. That's great. That's ideal. These look good. I wasn't too worried about these. I knew they would be pretty good. But yeah, interesting to see that that's where it seems to get hot. Or I don't really know why it's gone blue like that. Obviously it's the heat, but why in those areas? And sort of, I don't know. I'm wondering if maybe it is a little bit blowy, but you'd think it'd be a bit more crappy and horrible. So I've just grabbed the gaskets, the old ones. That came off of, which side did this come off of? I think that came off of this side. I would have said so. Yeah, so that came off of there. This one came off of here. And they look good. They don't look like they've been blowing past. And then this one, and we had the same story last time. This is from this one, and it just doesn't look healthy. That does not look like it's right. You know, considering the others have still got their gold colour, they're relatively uniform. You can see where it's all clamped around the edges. Do you know what as well? The other thing is that on the back side of here, where the bolt and the washer goes against, I can't help but feel it doesn't get the best sort of clamp. So I'm in two minds really, whether to go and double up the gasket on there, 2 gaskets, or if I should just do it up a bit tighter with a good amount of assembly paste. My feeling is, if I double up these gaskets, those firings aren't going to like it as much. But then at the same time, it's giving it more area to squeeze around the outside. But it's these 2 central areas that, if you notice where the bolts go, so one there, one there, one there, the areas with the least clamping force, so these 2 sort of middle areas there, and round here, I suppose. So I think if I did 2 gaskets, it would just blow around this area, so there's not enough clamping on it. And obviously, to clamp 2 gaskets sufficiently, I'd have to do it up really, really tight. I don't know. Shame this video's not going out till later, because I could really use a little bit of advice on that. But yes, I know a lot of people say use 2 gaskets, but I don't have the best feeling about that. And also, I can see here that it has been sealing on that side. So you can see on the gasket, notice how the firings on this side are fairly clean looking. They're a little bit grey, but this side, they're noticeably darker. So I think that side is the side that it's blowing the most on, and that'll probably be the up pipe side. You know, so it'd be, hang on, that way round. So I think this side's where the problem is. It's that I'll show you that up pipe quickly. So that's the up pipe. Let me just adjust myself. So yeah, it doesn't look too bad, to be totally honest. You can see a ring maybe up the top there. Don't think that's sealing too well. All a bit dark, and you lose the ring a bit. And the same down in this corner. But you can see my issue. To get this up pipe off, you see it follows up there, up to the turbo. To get that off is going to be quite difficult, really. So I'm not entirely sure what to do, really. It's going to be a bit of a pain in the arse to get that off. But yeah, I shall, I'll do something. I'll make a decision. I need to clean off that face, and the head face is up there as well. And then I can stick the manifold back on. Right guys, I've been rolling around on the floor for bloody ages now. I eventually decided to go for just one gasket because personally, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see two individual firings sealing together too well. If it was just a sort of fibre gasket or some sort of, you know, that kind of papery gasket, or you know, no firing in the gasket, then I could see it working. But seeing as there is a firing, it just doesn't really make sense to clamp two firings together. So I've not done it, but what I have done is fitted it all back with some assembly paste. So I'm just going to let that cure whilst I tidy up. I do actually just need to get back underneath and torque up one last bolt. Gone for a bit of a tighter torque this time. You might remember last time I was saying that I was doing it up to 40 foot-pound. Gone to 50 this time. I know doing it up tighter doesn't always solve everything, but it's worth a go because I really need to just, if I can't get it to seal, then I'm going to have to buy that new manifold and up pipe in stainless steel, which I'm not completely opposed to. It's just expensive and something that I didn't really account for when I started the project. But yeah, if I've got to do it, then I've got to do it. But I need to work all this out before I go for a map, and get everything, any new parts, anything that I'm doing to the car, has got to be done pre-map, because obviously I need it to be running as it would be. You know, I need it to be as I want it before I map it. So yeah, yeah, I'm going to get back underneath, torque up the last bolt or two, go around, check they're all tight, all still torqued up, and then I'm going to pack away, try and leave the car for as long as I can before I've got to go home. Yeah, I don't really want to drive it straight away or start it straight away because it will probably just blow that assembly paste straight out of any bad areas. So yeah, gonna leave it as long as I can, and then gonna get it started up and get home. So it's all torqued back up, everything's on there. I just got to let the car down now and close the bonnet and start it up. I'm going to try and prolong it as long as I can. Got some stuff to move in, and I'll close up, lock up. And then, yeah, I will film the first start after this third or fourth set of gaskets. I don't have loads of hope, but I am hoping this time it sorts itself out well. I hope this time that the repair works. I've done it up tighter than I have done before, which might help. It might just exaggerate the areas that it's blowing. But yeah, we'll give it a go. I've tried to leave it as long as I can so that the assembly paste can dry properly. But yeah, just gonna have a little tidy up, lock the door, and then we will see what the result is. See in a minute, guys. Right, all locked up. Let's fire the car up, see what we're dealing with. So, fingers crossed. Sounds better. It would sort of tick, to be honest. Yeah, that's lots better. I can still hear it. No, I can't actually. There we go, guys. I think I've solved it for another week or two. So, ideal. I'm going to turn it off now. Hopefully that heat there will just help the assembly paste sort of set a little bit better. Yeah, I think it's all good. I can't see any smoke rising up or anything. Yeah, I think it's better. It's hard to tell really, because you sort of, I don't know, it's like, I don't really know what it's meant to sound like when it's not blown at all, so it's a bit of a weird one. But there we go. So I think it's fixed for a minute. It sounds a lot better. Normally at about 1100 RPM, which is where it sort of was idling just then after I blipped the throttle. That's where it normally would give a ticking sound. And I couldn't hear it then. So, yeah, fingers crossed that's worked for now. I think realistically I'm going to have to work out a way where I can get my hands on this inlet manifold, exhaust manifold, the stainless steel one I said about. Yeah, if I can get my hands on that, if I can work out a way where I can afford to pay for that. Let's close the bonnet. Yeah, so if I can work out a way where I can afford that, then I shall be getting that. But for now, that's about it, guys. So I'm just going to lock the door, check everything's off. Looks like it. All the lights are off. So yeah, that's going to be it, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you got any suggestions, you know, affordable suggestions, like I said, I'm not too keen on doing the double gasket thing. I thought I was going to do it, but looking at the gaskets, it's like, I don't know, 2 fire rings. Doesn't really make sense to me. So yeah, any suggestions, I'm willing to take on board. But yeah, thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully with less of a gap in between videos. But yeah, I shall see you then, guys. Thank you, and good night.